What's up F1 fans, how are you? Have you heard that the guy once called an underdog, George Russell, is now ahead of the king, Lewis Hamilton? Maybe not, but if so, make sure you watch the video to the end to find out what all the fuss is about and how George came out on top. I would really appreciate it if you could please obliterate that like and subscribe button before we get started. Formula 1 videos that are hard to find on other YouTube channels are published weekly here on our channel. Therefore, without further ado, let's dive right in. It was Max's pass of Lewis Hamilton inside of the first turn on the inside of turn 1 that set the tone for the rest of the season. While it was the beginning of a season-long battle last year, it reminded the 7-time world champion of just how far behind the field he is this year. The best snippet from Mercedes weekend looks at what happened to Himmler and why Lewis struggled so much. Lewis Hamilton and Toto Wolff talking on the radio after the race in Imola is perhaps the most poignant instance. Wolff says, "Hi Lewis, sorry for what you had to drive today. I know this is undrivable and not what we deserve as a result." Despite the horrible race, Hamilton replied, "Yeah, no worries, to just keep on working hard." It seems a bit excessive for Toto Wolff to call the Mercedes undrivable. This car hasn't been as bad as the Williams this season, or George Russell has performed consistently over the first 4 races. The team's post-race radio message to Hamilton was prompted by Toto knowing that the drivers were being let down. "It's just the car was undrivable in the way. It was undrivable before," he said. "You see the straights. The way it bounces on the main straight, I wonder how the two of them can even keep the car on the track at times, and Lewis deserves better from us. But we're a team, so all we need to do the utmost to provide him with a machine that can fight for front positions." You have to agree with Toto. The bouncing does look appalling and, incredibly, neither driver can put up with it for the whole race. But while Hamilton has struggled with the car since the first race of the season, George Russell is performing better than he ever has before. Russell currently sits 4th in the World Drivers' Championship with a 3rd place finish, 2 4th place finishes and a 5th place finish. That kind of consistency is incredibly impressive for a new driver who just moved to the team from a Williams outfit that hasn't produced a competitive car in years. Russell has out-driven Hamilton in 3 or 4 races this season. He out-qualified Hamilton by 0.4 seconds on Friday and held his own in the sprint race that led into the main event on Saturday. 3 places ahead of Lewis, Russell is 21 points ahead of his teammate. According to Russell, "We are getting the most out of the Drivers' Championship. This gives me and the team confidence that as a car improves, we will score more points, but we can't maintain this level of results unless we improve the pace of the car." Russell's superb start in the race cannot be replicated if he is getting the most out of the car. As a result, he went from 11th to 6th in the first lap and was unable to overtake Kevin Magnussen to go up to 5th. He then drove maturely and finished in 6th place. To make the most of Leclerc's spin late in the race, he moved up to 4th, where he remained until the checkered flag. Russell had some interesting things to say about porpoising after the race, since he was porpoising badly all the time. "For the first time this weekend, I've been suffering from back and chest pain. The severity of the bounces just means that we need to go out there and do the fastest laps." George Russell, at 24 years old, is 13 years younger than Hamilton. If Russell is suffering from back pain, then who knows what Hamilton is going through? A 37-year-old Formula 1 driver, Hamilton has been racing since 2007. To ensure that they stay in peak condition during the racing season, drivers follow strict fitness plans and diets. However, bouncing and being shaken around at that level will hurt more in your late 30s than in your 20s. It may be that Hamilton's problems stem from the pain of driving the Mercedes car. The younger body of Russell can deal with it more easily. As the professional he is, it is unlikely that the poor person would be responsible for Hamilton's struggles. Let him be hindered by it. Mercedes' struggles with porpoising are numerous and complex, but none of them explain why Hamilton is experiencing so much difficulty. As it stands, Lewis is 21 points back in the championship standings, 4 points in front of his teammate. After being dropped by them last season, Valtteri Bottas is keen to get one over the Silver Arrows. In the meantime, the championship table isn't very encouraging. Here's some great news for Lewis Hamilton fans. This is the first race Hamilton has not competed in. Well, some pretty bad luck has influenced our results, and with only 4 races under our belt, we have not had a chance to balance out good fortune and bad fortune. The city of Imola. The poor timing of red flags in qualifying stymied Hamilton, and the result in Saudi Arabia a month ago left him struggling to recover. He gambled on his qualifying setup even though it failed 2 or 3 tests. It's a risk. Russell placed 3rd and 4th in races where he finished 4th and 3rd respectively. If things continue like this, Mercedes will almost be in desperation mode. Finding answers to their problems is often a challenge for them, and they have run different setups on both cars to try and find a solution. Some weekends Russell will find the right solution. In the Himalayas, it is said that we make our own luck. Sometimes it will be Hamilton. As a result of a melee in one lap caused by Daniel Ricciardo and Carlos Sainz, Russell gained so many positions in Imola. If Hamilton wants to avoid losing to his teammate for the first time, he will have to start making some luck. Ever since Nico Rosberg bought Lewis out, Hamilton has struggled to find luck. When it comes to winning the 2016 World Drivers' Championship, luck hasn't been on our side so far. Hamilton's former driver failed to succeed in several strategic areas at Imola. The decision to bring Hamilton into the pits was categorised as odd by Karun Chandpur. As the track dried, he said it was worth a shot considering it had 7 wins in a row. Champions were already outside the points and looked like he would not be able to catch up. Adjust the track to accommodate any changes required. We each started the race. The intermediate tyre is used for the race. Fortunately, the weather soon improved with a dry line forming, but it appeared drivers were hesitant to switch to dry tyres over concerns of more wet weather. The field was eventually led by Daniel Ricciardo, who made the first stop. After Ricciardo tangled with Carlos on the first lap, he damaged a diffuser. Hamilton could certainly have used the opportunity to post on Twitter but was not able to. Mercedes' decision to not bring Lewis into slicks early seemed like an odd decision to change the hook. Given that Lewis was outside of the points, it seemed odd. Hamilton dropped 3 positions from 10th to 11th after the stops. Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon had pitted each other moments later. To serve sauce with, the last lap had been completed a lap earlier, so we took advantage of it. Hamilton had the option of pitting when his competitors did if he had been brave with his tyre choices. In the opening laps, he fought with Lance Stroll and Yuki Tsunoda, and would have been around 8th if he had jumped them. This would have saved Britain some points, as well as stopped him from getting stuck behind Pierre Gasly, who he had sat behind for the majority of the race. While Imola was full of bad, Hamilton has had bad luck and bad performances because of their decisions. Fortunately, the news isn't all bad. Horizon team principal Toto Wolff believes the upgrades being prepared for the next race in Miami and Barcelona will be critical in allowing the team to run its car more effectively. Our belief in the signs is very strong. By putting in what we are at the moment, we will be able to keep the car at a lower speed. The bottoming of the car has kept us from unlocking the aerodynamic goodness we have. We will have to deal with that if we want to get ahead of it. Hamilton and Mercedes will hope these new upgrades adjust that. As things stand, as they can find quite some lap time, if not, we need another. The teams occupy the 3rd position currently. While they are competing in the Constructors' Championship, other teams are improving around them. Hamilton is having his worst season in over a decade. They need a positive outcome. It's Hamilton's performance at Imola up to par with the Silver Arrows? If not, they might find themselves in a midfield dogfight by the end of the season. What are your predictions for George Russell's performance this season? Please let us know in the comment section below, and as you leave our pit box, make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that notification bell to ensure you don't miss out on our content. Until next time, drive safe and see you soon.